Good evening, and thank you all for being here. My name is Chantel Thompson, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about cochlear implants and the reason why it's important for children to be able to choose for themselves whether they get one or not. Have you ever wanted to play football? While the FDA actually recommends against playing sports like that for people that have a cochlear implant, any kind of contact sport really, slips, trips, falls, any kind of impact towards the ear can actually damage the implant, and it'll cause failure where you have to get replacement, which means more surgery, or you just live with the bad device. Now, the cochlear implant is a surgically implanted hearing assistance device. I have a deaf son, and as such, I've done a lot of research on this. I've talked to different doctors, audiologists, and several members of the deaf community about the cochlear implant. Now, the cochlear implant can actually be very, very beneficial to some people with hearing loss. It's actually thought that the implant works a lot better than hearing aids. So after all the research that I've done, I've actually decided to let my son choose for himself. I don't think that it's fair for me to make that decision for him. Let's discuss why children should be able to choose for themselves why they should get the cochlear implant or not. First, I want to tell you a little bit about what the cochlear implant is. This is the cochlear implant right here. Now, this box right here you will wear in kind of like a fanny pack device. You have to wear it around you all the time. And these cords go up to this hearing aid looking device. You wear it just like a hearing aid around the ear. And this part actually radios the sound wave. This is the microphone, if you will. And it has to take batteries, and it picks up all the sound for you. This little piece actually connects magnetically to a magnet that's implanted surgically into the skull. And this piece right here is the one that connects with the radio device. It sends the sounds directly into the cochlea, or the sound center of the brain, bypassing this whole outer ear, the eardrum, and everything. So the sound comes through a lot more clearly, and there's not all that in-between stuff. It's not about volume. The sound goes directly to you. Why is the cochlear implant supposedly better than the hearing aid? Well, the cochlear implant, like I said, it bypasses all of that outer ear, and you can actually hear the sound a lot clearer. A lot of people who have cochlear implants can understand normal day-to-day speech and talking without having to do any lip reading whatsoever. A lot of people can watch TV or movies, and some even can enjoy music, which is something you just can't do with hearing aids. That all sounds really great, so why not just go get a cochlear implant as soon as you find out you have a deaf child? Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. The cochlear implant actually has some really life-changing risks, some major downfalls to it. Surgery, which in itself is pretty risky, it can damage the facial nerves, which affect how you smile, any feeling that you have in your face. It can also affect the way that things taste. If they cut into the wrong spot, which it's different on everybody, can change your taste forever. That's not something that comes back. There's also an increased risk of meningitis for anybody that has a cochlear implant. You have to be really careful about that for the rest of your life. Now, the long-term effects of stimulus to the inner ear, all that electrical stimulus that's coming through, we don't really know about. The cochlear implant's a relatively new device, so any long-term effects haven't been recorded yet. It hasn't been around long enough. Now, another downfall is that people with the cochlear implant are unable to have certain medical exams, such as an MRI or radiation. If you ever come across a time in your life where you need to have one of these procedures and you have the implant, you'll either have to have the implant removed or you just can't do it. Now, that box that I told you about earlier also depends on batteries, and a lot of people report that you have to change those batteries every single day. And changing batteries like that every single day is going to get really expensive. So given these risks, I've decided to let my son choose for himself, and I would recommend that any parent does the same. Quickly, just to recap the reasons why I feel that way. Like I said, the implant actually takes surgery, which is very risky for many different reasons. It's permanent. It's not like earrings. He can't just take it out. If he doesn't like it, he's stuck with it for the rest of his life. And the cochlear implant is relatively new, so the long-term side effects are unknown. Ultimately, this is something that's going to affect many different parts of someone's life for the rest of their life. So just to wrap things up, here's something I want you to think about. Would you like someone to make that decision for you, or would you like a chance to choose for yourself? I know that I would like to choose for myself, and that's what I'm going to let my son do, and I would urge that any parent does the same. Thank you.